The lies out of Donald Trump's press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, continue to get worse and worse, but they're also angrier and angrier every single day as she is called out by the press for the false narratives and straight up lies that she is delivering every day at her press briefings. And we saw one of those lies get called out today, and this the most blatant example of the hypocrisy constantly coming out of Donald Trump's White House. We're going to get into it all and the meltdown of a reaction that Karoline Leavitt had. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into Karoline Leavitt getting caught in that lie, of course, it's only fair we see how it started with this attack on the press right here.
On that note, the Democrat and media outrage over the deportation of Abrego Garcia, an MS-13 El Salvadorian illegal alien criminal who is hiding in Maryland, has been nothing short of despicable. Based on the sensationalism of many of the people in this room, you would think we deported a candidate for Father of the Year. That's because, unfortunately, many in this country care more about this quote-unquote Maryland father, a legal alien MS-13 gang member, than a Maryland mother and an American citizen who was brutally murdered at the hands of a different illegal alien. Of course, I am referring to Rachel Morin. And if you didn't see yesterday, a Maryland jury found illegal alien Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez guilty of murdering Rachel Morin in August of 2023.
Before we get into the substance or lack thereof of what Karoline Leavitt said, is it just me or does it kind of sound like she was struggling to read there? I guess she gets that from her boss. I don't know. It's just what it sounded like to me. But to start your press hearing by attacking the press for reporting the truth, and then also the false attempt at an equivocation because there was an illegal migrant who came to this country and broke the law, means that anyone who's come to this country then should be deported. I don't even know what Karoline Leavitt was trying to say there, but she was just pushing these lies, which she continued to do with the help of Fox's Peter Doocy in this clip right here, which perfectly sets up why she got called out.
And there's this CHNV thing. President Biden let more than 530,000 people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela into the U.S. with this CHNV program. He did it with the stroke of a pen. And now a judge will not let President Trump undo it with the stroke of a pen. So are you guys going to give all 530,000 plus people individual deportation hearings, or are you just going to try to deport them?
I spoke to White House counsel's office about this morning because obviously another rogue district court judge is trying to block the administration's mass deportation efforts with this latest injunction. We will fight this in the court of law, and we will ensure that every individual who illegally entered our country and was really taken advantage of by the previous administration because they abused the parole system in this country.
This has been such an interesting question for the members of the Trump administration to learn themselves. Why does my boss keep getting these injunctions filed? Why do the courts keep stopping what we're doing? Could it be that it's illegal? Could it be that Joe Biden's actions were legal and Donald Trump's are not? Is that something that we can maybe compartmentalize and we can figure out in our tiny little brains? No. Okay. But it's also these folks were receiving temporary protected status. They were leaving places that they were being persecuted. The hairdresser and makeup artist who Donald Trump shipped to El Salvador was escaping prosecution, was escaping threats of violence against him in his home country. That's why he came to the United States, to be a great member of his community, and they're labeling him a criminal. It's absurd. It's disgusting. And it continued when Karoline Leavitt refused to answer who's responsible for a man who was illegally shipped to a Venezuelan torture prison.
Still going off the El Salvador questions, yesterday in the Oval Office, administration officials made it very clear that El Salvador is responsible for Mr. Abrego Garcia, yet El Salvador's president said we're not going to do anything with him. So my question is, who is responsible for this man and where he's going to end up?
Well, no. First of all, President Bukele said that he is not going to smuggle a foreign terrorist back into the United States of America, as many in this room in the Democrat Party seemingly want him to do. Abrego Garcia was a foreign terrorist. He is an MS-13 gang member. He was engaged in human trafficking. He illegally came into our country. And so
you're saying that Trump isn't responsible, Bukele isn't responsible, but no one's responsible, but someone can't, but someone can't. They have no answers. They have no answers. She can't justify what she's saying. And we know if Donald Trump asked President Bukele to return Abrego Garcia, he would. Trump just doesn't want to admit a mistake. He is such a narcissist that he would rather an innocent man be in a Venezuelan concentration camp than admit he was wrong. That's Donald Trump. And the hypocrisy of Donald Trump was called out when Karoline Leavitt got caught in this lie right here.
The president has long said that it would be an abuse of power for a president to direct prosecutors to investigate him. Last week, President Trump explicitly directed the Justice Department to scrutinize Chris Krebs to see if it can find any evidence of criminal wrongdoing. How is that not an abuse of power to direct the Justice Department to look into an individual, a named individual?
look, the president signed that executive order. It's the position of the president in this White House that it's well within his authority to do it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have signed it. And he signed it, and that's his policy. Jeff, how you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Donald Trump talks exclusively on the campaign trail. Exclusively on the campaign trail. It's almost all he said was, oh, they're coming after their political opponent. They're weaponizing the DOJ. They're weaponizing the courts. They're coming after me. And that's now exactly what he is doing. He said the actions he is taking now, back then, were criminal. He was right to say that they would be if it was him, not the false narrative he was painting about the Biden administration, of course, but he did call his own shot pretty well, as we always say. With MAGA, every accusation is an admission of the truth about themselves. It's just complete projection. And it's humiliating. Almost as humiliating as some viral videos that have been going around that Karoline Leavitt was asked about right here.
China, this last week, Chinese officials were posting videos on, social media sites depicting a Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk in AI-generated videos working in factories, putting together Nike shoes and, iPhones and products like that. Does the White House, have they seen these videos? Do you guys have a response to that?
I have seen the videos. I'm not sure who made the videos or if we can verify the authenticity, but whoever made it clearly does not see the potential of the American worker, the American workforce. The president believes in the American people, and he knows that we have the best not only consumer base in the world, but also the best workforce in the world, and that's why he's so focused on bringing investments home and shoring up our critical supply chains and bolstering our manufacturing here as well. Brett.
Mr. Art of the Deal is not only losing this trade war, but he's getting memed. He's getting mocked by China as he's losing the trade war. He's losing it that badly that they're making videos with AI of J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, as was mentioned in that question, like making shoes, and just humiliating them because they're a joke. There's no art of the deal. He didn't even write the book. How do we not always come back to that? It's nonsensical. Almost as nonsensical as what Karoline Leavitt said right here.
Some news before I let you all go. Later this afternoon, the president will be signing a presidential memorandum aimed at stopping illegal aliens and other ineligible people from obtaining Social Security Act benefits.
So we talked about this in a previous video. Donald Trump is announcing a new plan to combat the waste, fraud, and abuse. Oh, those horrible words that we really know what that means. Waste, fraud, and abuse means anything not directly serving billionaires. That's in Social Security. This is just a way for Donald Trump to attack the agency and attack the benefits you've paid into your entire life. That is why Bernie Sanders called them out in this clip right here.
And right now, unbelievable, as we speak, you got the wealthiest guy on earth, Mr. Musk. Mr. Musk, you don't hear about this much in the corporate media or on the halls of Congress. Mr. Musk himself owns 5 times more wealth than the bottom half of the households in America. One man. And this guy is running all over Washington, D.C., slashing the Social Security Administration. And what that means is elderly and disabled people will find it increasingly difficult to get the benefits they paid into. This guy is proposing to cut 83,000 jobs from the Veterans Administration. These are the men and women who put their lives on the line to defend our country. We owe them everything. And we're not going to allow Musk and his friends to cut VA benefits. And when we talk about oligarchy, it's not just economic power, it is political power. Right now, in this last election, Musk spent $270 million to elect Donald Trump as president. You get one vote, you get one vote. Musk gets one vote plus $270 million to elect Trump, and his reward is to become the most powerful person in government. But it is not just Musk and the Republican Party. The Democrats have their billionaires as well. And if you want to know why the Democrats over the years have not been as strong as they should be in standing up for working class people, it has a lot to do with the power of those billionaires. So I know that I speak not just for progressives or moderates or conservatives. I think I speak for every American who understands that in our democracy, we cannot allow billionaires to buy elections. In America, one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections, and that is why we got to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision.
Donald Trump wants to convince us all that government is broken, although he is the one breaking it. We have to fight back not only against those attacks, but with an aspirational vision of how we can build a better country. That's what Bernie Sanders and AOC have been doing. That's what we're going to continue to do on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.